What's up everybody, and welcome to another Walkabout mini golf video here on Quixote Reaper Games. Today, we're going to be getting under par on Quixote Valley Hard. This is one of the hardest courses in the game, and don't feel bad if it takes you more than a few tries to get under par. This is also a really tough course just to try to get into the negative double digits on. But today I'm going to be helping you try to get under par and, with some practice, even into the negative 20s. Keep in mind, when I give an estimated level for the power on a shot on a scale of 1 to 10, it might feel different from me than what it does to you because of putter strength. I like to keep mine at around 85%. Depending on what yours is, it might feel different. So if yours is at 100% and I say something is a 6 on power, it might actually be a 4 or a 5 to you. First, we're going to go into practice mode. I'm going to show you some of the shots that we're going to be doing, how we're going to go about doing them, and just a little bit more detail on them. Then we're going to go into the under par run. If you want to skip to the under par run, just skip to the time on screen right now. But I do highly recommend going and watching the practice, because there's going to be some shots there too that you're not going to see in the under par run that are either going to be better for you or are shots that you probably want to go for. You just don't want to always do it in every situation. But let's go ahead and get into the practice. So hole-in-one is possible on hole 1, but what they want us to do is set up and then go through the left on one of these two areas here and try to get a 2. We're going to go straight ahead and hit this darker shaded square right here. And if you hit that square, it'll put you around towards the hole every time, but if you get it with just the right weight, it'll go in the hole. I'd say it's probably about a 4 out of 10 on the power. It's kind of tough to hit that little square though, so this might not be your go-to shot. So for the widely preferred and safer but also possible hole-in-one shot is to hit this brick really anywhere. It really doesn't matter, it's just all on your weight. So if you hit close to the left of the brick, you're going to need to hit a little bit softer, but if you do hit to the left, you do have a better chance of hitting that wheelbarrow right there and coming back into the hole. But this is definitely your safe shot, and power is going to vary depending on where you hit the rock. So pick a spot you're comfortable with, get used to it, and stick to that one. Hole 2, starting off with the hole-in-one, we're just going to go straight across right on this right side here, and it'll bounce off next to that flower, hit the light, and go in. It doesn't always go in the hole, but you can consistently hit the light as long as you land next to that little white flower there. It's a bit tough. It's probably about a 6 on the power level, but like I said, you'll consistently hit that light. Here's another one. Get a different bounce, but you can do it. This one's just a little bit more risky though, because you have to hit it so high and on the top that it's really easy to bounce over the hill and go out. So the safe shot's basically the same shot. We're just going to aim a bit to the right of that pink flower there and hit it softer this time. I actually like to aim a little bit more right than where I went on that shot, but this one's really consistent. Just go a little to the right of that lighter shade there and you'll pop it right on over. Just don't hit it so hard that you pop out. Hole 3, the hole-in-one, is also achievable here. We're going to send it down towards the right next to these logs at about a 6 on the power level probably, and bounce it back up into the hole. So you can see we cut next to these logs right here, and then when you come down you want to land in this general area right here, or you're not going to have the right bounce with the right weight to be able to go into the cup. Now if you come up short but you're lucky enough to end up somewhat in the middle here, you can just bank off the left wall and go in like that, nice and easy. Now if you're unlucky enough to end up against the wall here, you're going to have to hit it up into that angled piece up there, but you have to be careful, because if you got too much power, when you're coming back down it'll pop out the wood or pop over like that. And lastly, if you're on the right side here, you just got to put it in off the side and use your weight, get it just right. Don't put it too high though, like the last shot, it'll pop out. Hole 4 is also hole-in-one achievable. We're going to go over the safe, easy way first though, which is just to hit it nice and easy, right left of that pink cup there into the tub. And really, you just want to hit it soft enough that the ball actually rolls into that tub right there. And if you hit it hard enough, you can get a shot to go just straight up like that. If you come up short, that's fine. You can still get it in the same number of strokes. Pretty much as long as you have a line at this dark side of the potato sack, you can pop it up there for the nice 3. This is actually the better route to hit it short because you're going to get it in the same number of strokes and you don't risk the chance of hitting it too hard and bouncing up into the tub. So for our hole-in-one, there's a dot just on our right side of the tee, and we're going to go right over that dot into the brown wall, into the sheep, and through the window. That sounds crazy and super inconsistent, but it's actually not. As long as you take a few minutes to get good at this shot, you can pretty much do it every time on the first try, as long as you take the time to practice it. You can hit the sheep when its head is up or when its head is down. Just if it's down, you need to hit it with a little less power, up a little more. Figure out which way works for you best and then go with that one. This is pretty uncommon for it to go in the hole, but you can do this consistently to get over there in 1 and make it a 2. Good luck though. Hole 5 can be a frustrating one, but hole-in-one is again achievable and in more than one way. This is the safest way, is to hit it right into the dirt here, and there's a little line on the dirt right there. We're going to hit right before that line at about a 3 on the power, maybe even a little less, and that's a pretty safe shot, but you can play it even a little safer, hit it a little softer, and do it like this next one. We did get a line on that first one too. I just went ahead and reset the ball. So for our other hole-in-one, your timing and power had to be on point. So you want to go just over the edge of that dirt, and you can go straight through the little space between the actual windmill's blade and the base of the windmill and go straight into the hole too. It's just all about your weight and the way you hit that dirt. Hole 6, hole-in-one, also achievable but pretty uncommon. So they want us to go around one of these 2 ways, but there is an open space at the top between those 2 logs, so we're going to go just right. You'll see a little triangle right there. We're going to go just right where that triangle ends at a medium pace, probably about a 5.5 or so, and that'll get us around there to drain down to the bottom for a 2. I've never seen a hole-in-one off of this shot though. I'm not sure you can make it that way. However, there is another way. Apparently I didn't clip my hole-in-one, so this is all we got, but you're going to turn to your right on the tee box and go at this door and bounce back down 2 times to the landing with the cup. There's a triangle right next to the tee. You're going to go right at the point on that triangle, and if you can get it to go in the circle of the door handle, that's your best line to get in the hole. But you can go the way that we're aiming right now, which is the safer line, and still get a good bounce that'll put you down there. Hole 7, they want us to go down these 3 levels, and I did get the hole-in-one here earlier, but unfortunately it was after I was done recording, so I don't have a clip of it here. But we're just gonna bounce our way down there, and so right in front of the tee there's kind of a flat space right in front of you, right there, and just to the right is a line leading to some oblong shape there. But there's a little triangle between the 2 right there, kind of hard to see, and I'm not sure you can even see it on the quest if I recall, but you just want to pop right into that triangle, kind of on the left side of it at a medium pace, about a 4.5, 5, and try to land before the grass or that rock there so that you don't pop over the hill whenever you get down to the bottom level. This one can take a second to get the weight down, but once you do, it's pretty much locked in usually. So this one, the hole-in-one, is achievable. You can get it going the normal way, but it's incredibly rare. You can also get it going this other way that we're about to go now. Also rare though. But the shot is consistent to always get you up there because you have such a big piece of wood to send you back. And I have gotten this hole-in-one, but only once. I normally don't go for this shot, but as long as you hit that big triangle on the rock there, it'll pop you over here. It's a pretty hard hit, probably about a 7, but if you look down just left of where your ball spawns on the tee, there's a dot right there. And we're going just slightly left of that dot at, again, about a 7 power level or so. That'll pop you up into that rock and back over there where the hole is, and like I said, this is consistent, it works. And there's, yeah, so consistent. That's almost a hole-in-one shot there too, actually. Hole 9, they want us to come down the windmill and then putt up through one of the 2 gaps to where the cup is. There's a dot right to the left of the tee. Looking at those yellow flowers, we're going to go just right of that dot, land right there, and as you can see, this is another hole-in-one achievable hole. Didn't quite get it here, but it is possible. I have done it. But you want to go about an inch or 2 to the right of that dot at a pretty short pace, probably about a 3 or less, so that you hit the right spot of that grass to send you up there where the hole is. Hole 10 is maybe one of the toughest holes in the game, especially if you don't know how to play it right. There's all this wind trying to blow your ball off, and where the pedals are, there is no wind. Again, hole-in-one achievable, but it's a tough one. Got to thread the needle just right next to the corner, or next to the edge, with the right amount of power. So if you're moving too slow, the ball is going to get pushed by the wind, so you got to hit it like you mean it. This requires commitment. But just next to that pink pedal with the right weight and you'll be in there. Then there's the obvious but deceivingly difficult setup, which is just to hit it just right with the right weight to land in front of this bridge. That's a tough one to thread, but then that gives you the nice 2 to just put it right into the cup. This is probably about a 3.5 or so. It's tough to gauge this one. Believe it or not, what's actually not a bad idea is to hit it straight at the cup and pop it over here, or just hit it straight over here and then right into this red pedal on the bridge. And almost always hitting that pedal will put you in the cup. If you're a little bit to the left, you need to hit it slightly right of the pedal, and so on. But generally, hitting that pedal will put you in the cup. So we skipped hole 11 because that one's super simple, but it is also hole-in-one achievable. Just hit that rock hard and hope for a lucky bounce that puts you in the hole. But here we have the option of 3 different lanes or hitting a rock. We have 2 hole-in-one shots. The shot that I prefer is to go straight to the right here and go down this little crevice. So this looks super hard to do, but it's actually not. There's a huge window for your power here. If you hit a little early and clip the rock, you should still make it through. If you hit a little late, you should clip the other side of the rock and come back in. There's a nice window for error here, like that one as well. You can see I rode pretty high up on the rock, and I've gotten the hole-in-one doing it that way, and I've also gotten the hole-in-one doing it the trick shot way. But for the trick shot, there's this darker shade of the rock right there, and we want to hit the left side of the shade of that rock. And if you hit the right, you tend to hit the rock that we just bounced into, but from the other side, or you pop over. Just any number of things can go wrong if you hit the right side like that. But it is a very safe shot as long as you don't do that, with a chance for a hole-in-one. Hole 13, believe it or not, hole-in-one achievable. So they want us to come down the hill, be careful of the wind, and get down into the hole somehow. We're going to come just off the left, hit this rock, bounce down, and get pushed by the wind into the hole. Now this is a tough hole-in-one to pull off, but you can do it. And once you get the weight down, you can do it consistently, but it's tough to keep the weight down on this one. But we're going to go just left of that pedal right there, and that'll get you to hit the right spot on the rock with the right weight to put you in the hole. That hole-in-one shot is not very consistent for me, just because I'm not very good at the power on that shot. So I like to just hit it soft off the edge, let it roll down here, and this is a very easy putt. The wind is trying to trick you. It's actually not that strong. You pretty much just put it straight into the cup. Very easy. Alright, hole 14. We found a hole that doesn't have a consistent, specific hole-in-one shot to go for. But it's always possible to get this hole-in-one, just requires a ton of luck. So we're going to come up through this right side next to those rocks there. I like to hit the grass right here. If you look, there's a point right there. We're kind of going to hit right where that point is aiming at your ball. There's also 3 little dots next to that point too. And if you hit the first dot and that line of dots, it'll also work to get you up there. This is my preferred shot because this is a really tough hole. This is the shot most people go for. I'm not a fan of it, but you're trying to go just to the right of that third light, between the light and the rock. And it's a tight line, especially because you have this piece of grass sticking out right there behind the second light as well. And it's very easy to clip that or go slightly to the left and hit the light. It's a tough shot. If you can get out of this hole with a 2 or 3, that's pretty sweet. You can get a hole-in-one on these next 2 often enough. So for this one, they want us to come all the way down here to the green little avocado hole, as we call it. And so we're gonna bank off the wood on our right side of the tee box, right at the end of the dark green stripe here. This one's probably about a 4.5 or a 5 on the power level. You can get this hole-in-one pretty often with a lot of different bounces and banks into the hole, but they're all stemming from the same bank on that piece of wood, just power varies. Hole 16 is probably the easiest hole-in-one in the game. Very easy to forget that there's wind on this bridge and just let yourself fly off all the time, but you just want to send it to the left, kind of towards the left side of the door frame at about 5 power, and let it nice and easy go down into the hole. Not really looking at any specific timing because it's really hard to time it from that far away. Usually it gets in there though. Alright, at this point I realize all 18 holes are hole-in-one achievable. This one just requires a good bit of luck on your side. So we're going to hit it off of the top right there at about a 4 or 5 on the power level, just right of that yellow pedal right there. And we need to hit it that hard because we're fighting the wind. Now we're going to bounce it up off the carpet into that grass embankment there, and if the luck is on your side, you'll be in the hole, but it's rare. So hole 18 has us hitting from the top of the mountain through a ton of wind down into this area where the hole is. And there are a few different ways to go about this one. It's tough to get a line, but you can do it. What I like to do is go to the left between those 2 pedals right there, or just next to them, and try to hit the tree where the cup is. If you get your power right, you can do this consistently. It's about a 7 on the power level probably, but this is one way to consistently get a line on this hole, and there really aren't many. Don't get me wrong though, it's still tough to get your power right on a lot of these shots, and again, easily one of the hardest courses in the game, especially to get a good under par score on. But let's go check out the under par run now. Now here we are on the under par run. If you didn't watch the practice part of this video, that's fine, but I really recommend that you do, because I go for a ton of shots there that I don't do here, or I do some hole-in-one shots here that I don't make, and I don't explain how you should do them. And if you can incorporate those into your run, you can even hit that big -3-0. So really recommend going back and checking that out. There's probably going to be a lot of other shots you'd prefer over the ones that I do here, maybe even 2. But these first 2 holes are simple. Here's another one where we're going to go for the hole-in-one. Don't quite make it this time, but we come out with a pretty nice score at the end, especially for this course. But you just want to hit it to the right, just missed those logs there, and hit it about at a 5 or so on the power, and that should pop it back up into the hole. We just missed it. Here's another one that I'm going to play safe, but there is a pretty consistent hole-in-one here actually, off of that sheep, believe it or not. It's a pretty cool shot. Here we hit it just left of that pink cup at the tee though, probably about a 3, knocked it into the tub so it pushed it over, and then put it up here for an easy 3. This one's also a pretty consistent hole-in-one. We're going to go just to the left where the dirt is here, and there's a little line on the dirt right there. We want to hit right before the dirt, bounce over the bush. You can see I was shaking my head there. I hit it a little bit too soft, that's why it sent me over to the right there, but there are a couple ways to get the hole-in-one here that I go over in the practice run. This one had some tough timing, but luckily able to recover. I took a few seconds there because I was debating on whether I was even going to try it, because it didn't look like it was there completely, but luckily it was. And this one we're just going to try to take the shortcut right up here. That one's probably about a 5.5 on the power level, maybe a little bit less. But you just want to go a little bit to the right of a little triangle cutout that's up there. You'll see it. So right here, you want to go just right of straight. There's a little triangle on the grass there, and you want to hit that. And obviously, I hit it too hard. You want to land on the carpet and bounce over the rocks and not land on that grass bit like I did. But that's okay. This is a tough course, but as long as you're doing alright with the shots that we're doing here, even if you stroke out on one hole, as long as you don't mess up the others too bad, you should still be able to come out on a par. With the stuff that we've done here already, we're still going to come out at least -20, if I recall. Yeah, that was so close. But yeah, this one also has a hole-in-one shot. Not that one, another one that's more commonly a hole-in-one that I go over in practice. So this one we're going just next to that dot right there at about a 3, so we land on the grass and it sends us over here next to the cup. And this one we're playing this one safe as well. This is probably one of the toughest holes in the game. We're just going to hit it at about a 3.5 probably and let it stop in the pedals right here, put it into the cup. I actually didn't even go over this hole in the practice run. It's a very simple hole. Just hit it into that rock pretty high or pretty hard, and there's no secret to getting the hole-in-one on this one. You just hit and hope. It does happen though. This one we're not going to do the trick shot because the normal way where you take this shortcut is actually way easier than it looks. There's a pretty big margin for error on that one. So another one we're playing safe. I pretty much always play this hole safe. I'm just not very good at the power for the hole-in-one on this one. But when you play it safe, this is actually pretty simple. It looks like the wind here would mess you up a lot, but it really doesn't. You can pretty much put it just straight at the cup. This hole here is almost my kryptonite. This is a really rough hole for pretty much anybody, but this one can mess me up. What I do on this hole is, if you look where I shot, there's a little triangle there pointing towards your ball, and you just want to hit right at the point of that triangle. I hit it a little too hard, so I clipped one of the rocks and that pushed me back, but at least we didn't go all the way down to the bottom level, because that really sucks. It's not easy to play this hole the way they actually want you to play it. It's almost easier to do one of the trick shots. And so for this one, hopefully we get the hole-in-one. I don't remember, but we're just going to bank right at the end of that dark stripe and hope to come back into the hole, or just go into it through the little avocado. That one's probably about a 4 on the power level. That last one, the hole before that, that was probably like a 7 on the power level. This one we hit just a little bit too soft, so we didn't make the hole-in-one, but you want to go left, towards the left door frame, at about a pace of 5, because there is wind blowing, and let that take your ball in the hole. No specific timing, because it's spinning so fast you can't really gauge the timing from all the way back at the tee, so just go for it. And this one, we're going to aim slightly to the right of that yellow pedal there, and hope for a line that puts us in the hole. That's about a 5 on the power level, so you land on the carpet, bounce up into the grass embankment, and it sends you back. Here we're going to be going far left next to those 2 little pedals. There are 3 over there, but we want to go between the 2 little ones, hit the tree, and then come back over so that we have a line. Didn't quite get the line we were looking for, but we're pretty close. Almost made it. That's okay though, we're still going to come out well under par with the -20, even with the mistakes that we made. And if you can clean those up, go into the practice, take some of the hole-in-one shots that I show, which are consistent shots. I just, like I said, was playing it safe on this run. If you can get it all together, have that golden run, you can pull -30. on this course. But I hope this helped you out. I hope you can get into the negative double digits pretty consistently now and knock out that trophy for 8 courses under par. Anyway, I hope this helped you out. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.